Well, these.
So the way I got in with Anthony, and it's, Mom, don't get mad, but the way I got in with Anthony, like, I was hitting with Chris Anderson as well with Tyrone Dickerson, bass player. So me and Chris was like mad cool, we were close. So, you know, at 15, 16, bro, you start locking into who your people are.
Yeah.
So we had a Ben Tanker gig, and I was staying in Indiana at the time. My mom was working second shift, she was gone. Left the car there, keys there. 15.
Right.
All right, so Anthony was like, Tyrone was like, hey, we're gonna meet in Harvey and we're gonna leave from there. I'm like, all right, cool. Who gonna come get me?
Right.
So, keys there. So I drove my mama's car to Harvey and get to Harvey, and Tyrone's like, hey, something happened, gig ain't go, like, no worries. So Anthony was like, hey, I need a ride home. Not supposed to be driving, but this is Anthony Harmon.
Right.
Where do you live? So
Right.
I take my man to the crib and never got a chance to play together. So after that, that's when Tyrone called me for the record. And Anthony was in on it. So like I said, at this time, I'm like used to Chris Anderson, JJ, like,
Right.
it's like, I gotta get, I got Anthony Harmon, like, and then it's like, this is Anthony Harmon, bro. Like, so, like, came in, and at the time, we rooming, we doubling.
Right.
So Tyrone's like, hey, you gonna be in the room with Anthony. And Phil Ratcliffe was playing guitar. So I was like, well, let me be in the room with Phil. I know Phil, like, that's my buddy.
Right.
He like, nah, man, you in the room with Anthony. So get that, man, and Anthony, bro, like, a whole fool. First off, he's a whole fool.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So now I'm kind of like, okay, settling in a little bit, because it's like, okay, this dude cool.
Right.
So talked about music, man, just kind of got it in on the verbals. Next day, go to the studio, and being kind of like on me.
Right.
I mean, he ain't like stressing me like how I'm playing. It's just like, he like looking like, yo, y'all for real, bro? A 16-year-old dude to come cut this record?
Right.
He producing the record, so Anthony pretty much like, man, like, dude, play drums, do what you do, and then we finna get through this.
Right.
Aces ever since.
Wow.
Been my dude ever since. Got through the record, played the record on some grown man, none of that bullshit. You know what I mean? Played it on some grown man, and yeah, been my ace ever since, bro. In 2013, when he passed, that was the time me and dude was in.
Wow.
And he took me under his wing like of a real little brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Letting me keep his car. You know what I mean? Like, just and schooling me on the game, like, because my approach to ballads came from him.
Wow.
I mean, he hear me, he's like, oh yeah, you kill that new direction stuff, boy. But how you play this ballad?
Yeah.
A whole different thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, getting me in on that, man, just ain't. And Anthony, he didn't keep no big circle.
No, not at all.
He dealt with who he dealt with, and that's what it was. And even when it came down to bass players, I know 2 bass players who he rocked with, and that was you and Lil Toni.
Wow.
Past that, and I rocked with the homie. So past that, I don't know. You know what I mean? So.
What was it like when he passed, man? Like, how'd that
It
hit you?
was rough. It was rough. And then, he was trying to keep it, he was trying to keep it from us, because when he first got sick, I mean, he told me, like, what he was kind of dealing with. He was like, man, I'm cool. He had got in the gym, and he had started getting big.
Yeah.
I mean, so it was cool. And then he just kind of, like, started disappearing. I mean, I would hear from him, and by that time, like, I'm older, so I'm doing my thing, like, other work, so everybody kind of doing their thing. So he kind of started disappearing. Like, was calling you more to come lock in with yo, and yeah, that's kind of what that was about. He put himself up, didn't want to be seen. I mean, so I hadn't seen him for like a while, man, and we actually had a Yolanda hit, and something went wrong with travel. They booked his travel instead of booking yours. So Yeah, bro, we in the room chilling, and you know they tell us like, yo, Anthony coming in, like, so we're like, all right, cool, whatever. So chilling in the room, bro. He walked through the door, and bro, just me up, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because before I seen and like been lifting weights, like getting big, and when I seen him when we were chilling in the room, bro, just like, you know, I slimmed down. And then at the time, you know, he was dealing with Erykah, the bass company.
Yeah.
So he had the 5, 6, and the 7 string. So those were the joints he was kind of using.
Yeah.
He would bring that big dumb 7 string out. So when we seen him, he had brought the 4 string, the Don Grosh joint. You know what I mean? Like, and even with that, like he needed, like, you know, he would sit down on stage and, you know, how we had to prop the bass up for him or whatever. So yeah, bro, that was like, that was a rocker for me.
Yeah.
Like, that was a rocker for me, bro, so. I got introduced to Yolanda when I was 15. I think that was my first time working with her.
How'd you come in on that?
Tyrone Dickerson.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so my uncle again, Donald Smith, he was writing for Tyrone and was bringing me to the rehearsals. And Mike Witherspoon and Ray Beatty were the drummers, and Felix.
Nice.
Felix Polly, they were the drummers at the times. So when they were kind of like branching off doing their thing, my uncle told Tyrone about me, and Tyrone let me get in. And once he seen I could hold it down, you know, it was cool from that point.
Nice.
So I was playing with his choir, which is Christian Fellowship. I was doing them, and Tyrone was the MD for Yolanda and Ben Tankard.
Gotcha.
So he brought me in on Ben first, and once he seen I was able to handle myself with that, he called me to do a gig with Yolanda. I think at this time I was like 15. So did the gig, and at the time Oscar was playing, Oscar Seaton was playing for y'all. And he missed the gig or whatever, so called me in a sub. And I think like a few months after that, Tyrone had called and was like, yo, I think I was like 16 at the time. He was like, yo, Oscar's in Singapore, Yolanda finna do a record. Like, can you do it? Can you play to a click? I had never played to a click before, keep it 100, but you think I'm gonna say no?
Nah.
So no, I was like, yeah, I could hold it down. So got permission from my mom to miss school for the week, went down there and cut the record, and ever since I've been locked in with her.
Wow.
So my first time actually gigging with it was like a gig, I forgot where we were, but when he called me into the studio, it was just like very genuine. Yolanda is who she is.
Yeah.
I mean, no faking it. She is who she is. So just a sweetheart from the jump. And you know, coming into a situation like that and then it was my first time like playing with Anthony.
Yeah.
I mean, so it was like already a whole nother situation with this dude. I mean, so, but nah, Yolanda was like very welcoming, like mad cool, you know, and wasn't looking at me because I mean, you got this project and then you got a 16-year-old kid coming in to cut your record. I mean, so yeah, she didn't give me no static about. It was cool. Like she respected me for what I was doing, and that's what it was.
I met Rahsaan Patterson when I was doing those random, tiny LA gigs. He was at a gig because I sang for Terrell Carter when I was down here doing these random little things. I sang for him 2 or 3 times. And at one of them, Rahsaan was there. And he, at the end of the show, was like, little girl, who are you? And it was that close. I was like, hey. I was like, I know exactly who you are. So then there was that. And this was before I even started singing for Chaka, and I started working for him. And then in the midst of working for him, him and Lalah started doing shows together. Wow. But before that, I auditioned for her.
For Lalah?
For Lalah.
Wow.
And they turned me down.
Really?
It was hysterical. They turned me down. Eric Smith called me personally, and he was like, oh my God, you're incredible, but you sound just like her. We can't use you. I was like, Okay. So Rahsaan and Lalah started doing these gigs together. Lalah got the band, Rahsaan got the singers. So then we all got together and started. She was like, hey, and it was me and Jason Morales. She said, hey, you guys are pretty good. You guys want to come and sing with me? And we're like, sure, why not? So it was a bunch of stuff that happened with that. They did a whole bunch of gigs together. And then after that, I got the gig with, actually it was both. I was doing all three at the same time. I was doing Lalah, Chaka, and Rahsaan at the same time. I would come home, change my bag and my clothes in my bag from clean to dirty or dirty to clean, get right back on a plane.
Wow.
It was just nonstop.
When was this? Like what?
2006 to about 2009.
Oh my God.
And it was all three of them. I was just,
And those are singers.
yes. Yep, real singing. Some of the best backgrounds I've ever done in my life are for those three people. To this day. I can't even say that because I've sung for some amazing people and amazing backgrounds. Like they do their own backgrounds or they have amazing arrangers. And I'm like, did you make that up? There was a few times where Lalah was like, did you do that? You ain't shit. Forgive my potty mouth. I'm a bit of I use colorful language. One of the guys who played for Chaka, he's played for her the whole time. He's there now. Ricky Rouse.
Ricky Rouse.
Not Mickey Mouse.
I know.
Ricky Rouse used to be a little adventurous something. When we first got here, he had something to prove or something. I don't know what it was. He used to jump off of stuff. So he decided one time he was going to jump off of a speaker or a side fill, and he about busted his whole ass. I mean, we were like, ah! Oh my God. And it's pretty much just watching all that. And he be like, he'll get up. He be limping. But he gets up and he keeps playing the show. He does it all the time.
Robert C. Wright was the drummer. Yes, he called me and asked me to do it. Asked me to set drums up. I went to set the drums up, and something just kept telling me not to leave. So I stuck around because I wanted to see him play too.
Right.
Time came to play. Nobody heard from him. Like, all right. So he walked up. You know, man. Man, sure, you want to play? Like, yeah, I'll play. Like, yeah, just play till you get here. They never got that. So that was just kind of a start of Archie really looking at me in the light of, okay, you can handle a whole gig. Yeah. Like, I hadn't really expected, I knew you could play, but I never seen you play anything more than sitting in on a song, on a tune at the jam session. Man, so we spent that time really just growing. And man, RC came back. The brother was like, man, yeah, shoot, he can handle it. Be available. That was that.
So, tell me about the Erykah Badu experience, man. How'd you get on that? Like, how'd that happen?
Man, through the grits.
Okay.
I just remember, man, I had never seen her ever. And at that particular time in my life, I just wasn't just too up on like all her stuff. Like, I wasn't just up on the stuff. But man, she walked on stage, and I was just like, shit. She just pointed like this. Smirk, turn around, just dress the show. Like, okay. A month or two later, IC had her a profit bar for her birthday. And Chris was supposed to have been coming. Chris was her drummer at the time, Chris Dad. Of course, he didn't show up. So I ended up learning, like really learning the show. Felt like somebody just didn't care about your life. Corey finally got fed up everybody waking him up because he was trying to sleep through this shit. And he started driving on the ridges. Corey just said, whoa. Like, whoa. Nick tried to reach over there to help him.